The biggest thing I'm learning right now, and it clicked for me today, because as today went by, as I was at work, I was very tired. I was saying to myself, um, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I'm low-key tired of all of this. I don't want to do this. And my mind was saying that, but my heart and my spirit were saying, continue. Keep going. Hey, you almost done with the shift. At the end of the day, you're getting it done. At the end of the day, you're communicating and talking to people. At the end of the day, you're putting yourself out there. And it was that battle. But the biggest thing I understood was that where I am now and how I think mentally now, where my mindset is now, is not where it will be months, a year, years from now. The person that I want to become is not who I am now. So I have to change. I have to continue evolving and changing. And it's hard. Change isn't easy. That's something I really learned today. Like, change is not easy. It's not. It's not, bro. Because you're moving away from you're moving away from from comfortability to uncomfortable, to being just doing what I want to do, to doing the unnecessary, to doing the, like, I don't want to do it, but I'm doing it anyways. Making these videos and doing this, like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, bro, what am I even gonna talk about? And I still get in the habit of thinking consciously in my own brain instead of just being a vessel and not thinking. Not in the sense of not thinking, but being in the spirit. Understanding that God is with me and having faith. Because at the end of the day, I'm a talk. And I love talking. And God knows this. God gave me a voice and a conscious brain for a reason. But it's a thing of, am I gonna take my own understanding? Am I gonna take what I did in the past and bring it to the now? Or am I going to surrender everything, surrender my understanding, surrender what I used to know, everything that I used to know, what I grew up on, everything, and just walk on this path with faith, knowing that I don't know anything? Am I going to change? Am I going to let my circumstances and where I am right now determine me being here, me being at college? Sometimes, like, it was at a point, my first semester, I was like, bro, what am I doing here? I was questioning myself so much towards, like, what am I doing here? But it got to a point to where it was like, okay, I'm here for a reason. I'm here for a reason. God put me on this earth for a reason. Allow change to come through. Allow change to come within your life. Because if you don't, you'll never grow. You'll never truly get to experience that version of yourself. I'll never truly get to experience that version of myself that wants the growth, that wants to create that impact, that wants to become financially free. I'll never get to see that life because I'm living in my circumstances. I'm not living in the I'm not living through the version of myself that I want to become. And that's something that a lot of people don't teach. It's just like, live through the version of yourself you want to become. And I'm still learning this. Being 19 it's not something easy. Any age, it's not something easy. Going through life, it's just, you go through life and you go through each day, you go through each hour, and you work your job or whatever you're doing, and sometimes you get lost. And I heard this from Inky Johnson. He was a former football player. And he said, not quoted, it's not quoted because I don't remember exactly. But I remember something he said, like, man, people get so caught up in life. People get so caught up in just going throughout life being in action mode that they forget they forget the why. They forget why they're here. They forget the why. And that's something that I truly never want to forget. I always have to remind myself why. And that's something I always want to keep reminding myself. I don't care what age I am. I don't care how many times a day I gotta do it to myself. Remind yourself. Get back to the why. And me walking on this path with God has truly helped with that, because it helps me understand that I'm serving. I'm here to serve. But at the same time, I'm here for a reason. My life is bigger than where I am right now. And maybe it sometimes in my head, I get in the back of my head, I'll be like, bro, this is not where I want to be. Why am I here? But it's just like, accept it. Accept where you are, but at the same time, I'm not satisfied. I've talked about it before. Not being satisfied. Like, I'm not satisfied with my circumstances, but at the same time, I'm grateful and I appreciate where I am right now. I'm not satisfied, but I'm grateful and I appreciate where I am right now. Be grateful where you are. Because if you're not, and you allow life to go by, forgetting your why, forgetting what's important to you, forgetting who you are and where you're going, then there's no point. See, there's 3 questions that I was asked. I heard this in the audio. I'm gonna try to remember it. Hold on. give me some time. Hold on. It was first, basically, where are you from? That's the 3 questions. Where are you from? Where are you at? And where are you going? Those are 3 questions. Where are you from? Now, you may say, oh, I'm from here, I'm from here. No, where are you from? What is your foundation? Where did you come from? What are your roots? And then where am I at? Where am I at right now? Where am I currently at? What's my kind of like evaluation of where I am? Health, it could be health-wise, mentally, spiritually, financially, anything. But where am I at right now? Where am I from? Where am I at? And then where am I going? Now, I heard this audio, and this was to help, salespeople, understand truly not even the importance of sales, but their why. As a salesperson and you becoming a business owner, because sales is business, everything like that. If you want to be a business owner, you have to understand sales is like, being a salesperson is not bad. It's a misconception that it is bad. Being a you have to learn how to sell yourself in order to succeed. All the successful people in this world, from the past to the present to the future, are all salespeople. At heart, they're all salespeople. They all sold themselves on an idea that they created out of their mind, that they preached to someone. But the first time that successful person preached that idea to someone, that person said no. And they got a whole bunch of no's behind that. But did they quit? No. They kept going. Because they persevered. Perseverance. And it sounds like an easy word, but it's just like, not everybody likes that word. Because once we get that no, we move back. We're like, man, nah, I don't even want to do it no more. Because they told me no. This is like, man, I guess it's not for me. They told me no. I guess it's just not for me. But it's just like, you quit after the first no? When there's people, Thomas, like, I know everybody uses it, but Thomas Edison made 10,000 different, what's it called? He failed 10,000 times making the light bulb. 10,000 times, gang. Like, that sounds crazy to me. I failed 10,000 times. I shot 10,000 shots, and I only made one shot. One shot, but I shot 10,000. I attempted 10,000 times. But you know what that says? He didn't quit. That's all that matters, is you don't quit. So understanding where you're from, where you're at, and where you're going are very important things, because they help you understand and they help you keep in mind the perseverance behind what you're doing. Okay, why am I doing what I'm doing? Okay, this is where I'm from. This is my foundation. Okay, I'm trying to help my family. Okay, I'm building a relationship with God. I have a foundation. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Where I'm at right now. Okay, well, right now, I'm learning. Boom, boom, boom. Everything like that. Whatever your circumstances, wherever you're at in life, and then where am I going? That's where dreams come in. That's where goals come in. That's where all these aspirations. That's where this imagination comes to light. It comes to not brutality, physical form. You write it down. You look at these things. Create a vision board. Anything like that. But it's understanding where you are going. Because if I don't understand where I'm going, it's like, what's the point of understanding where I'm at and where I'm from if I don't understand where I'm going? If I don't understand the end goal. And even when I touch that end goal, and that's another thing, even when I touch that end goal, that's not even the end goal, because then there's another one. There's always more to life than what you think it is. And that's the biggest thing. Excuse me, my fault. I'm so sorry. That's the biggest thing I learned this past year or two, is that there's way more to life than I think it is. I'm going to have a purpose. Like, I'm going to have a purpose. In my eyes, I have a purpose. But in God's eyes, it's like purpose is. Like, you have a calling, and then you have you just keep serving. You, in different areas in your life, you'll have different purposes, because in one area, you may be doing something, but you may fall out of it. But that doesn't mean you're done. No, you keep going. You keep chasing. Okay, what's the next dream? Okay, what's the next thing? And this is something I'm still understanding and learning. But at the same time, it's a thing of, am I going to quit? Am I going to find a love for what I'm doing? Am I going to find a love for dreaming? Am I going to find a love for persevering? Because I'm here. I'm here. You're here. And that's the blessing. That's the blessing in itself, because you're here. And I love it. And I appreciate you. And that's why I always come on here. I didn't even know I was going to make a YouTube video. I'm going to keep it, man. Hey, I just started chatting, bro. I love y'all so much to where it's like, why wouldn't I tell y'all? When I make these YouTube videos, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I do this just out of, like, I just start speaking. I just start talking. And sometimes I imagine, and it's crazy because one day I know I'm gonna be talking in front of people, like public speaking. I'm gonna be talking in front of thousands of people one day. And when that day happens, or hundreds, start off with hundreds, few people, hundreds, and then thousands. And when that day happens, I'm gonna tell the same story. I'm gonna tell my story. And the thing I learned is from my mentor. He said, get good at telling your story. Get good at telling your story. I think it was from my mentor. If it wasn't, it was from an audio from someone very successful. And they literally said, get good at telling your story. Because if you cannot tell your story, if you can't tell where you came from and where you're at and where you're going and where you were going and everything like that, what's the point? What's the point? Be good at telling your story. It's your story. It's your story. There's no such thing as a boring story, because it's your story. Be proud of your story. Be proud of where you're at. You understand? I love y'all, man. Pray y'all have a blessed one, man. Peace.